truthfully, I mean, and I mean this sincerely, drafting is probably my least favorite part of the writing process. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Just Another Struggling Writer, the beleaguered author's one-stop shop for commiseration and hopefully inspiration. My name is Carrie Scher, and I am just another struggling writer. Today I am doing a very much needed cozy reset for the month of May, and the reason it is much needed is because April was a bit of a disaster in both the reading and yet again the writing zones. Usually if I'm lacking in one area, it's because I am way up in the other area. And unfortunately that was just not true this month. I really struggled to be productive in any facet of my hobbies this month. Around the middle of the month, I, along with many other people, went down the rabbit hole of the Tortured Poets department, and for like a week straight, I couldn't think about anything else. I don't even count myself as a Swiftie, but I was really into it. There's something about me and Taylor about the same age, and so there's something about that album, or her music in particular, that just speaks to my experience because we're about the same age and having similar experiences. Anyway, so I lost about a week to that, and then that really killed it, and I managed to pull some stuff together at the end in terms of reading. So right up until the end of the month, I was like, I've only read one book and I've DNF'd another. I managed to end the month with 4 completed books and 1 DNF. So could be worse. It could have been just 1, but certainly not the production that I was hoping for. I didn't even do an April reading wrap up because there was just so few books to talk about that I decided to just roll it into May's. I even made it out to the bookstore, but then completely forgot for the second month in a row to bring my unhauls with me, so I ended up unhauling 0 books. I added 3 books with The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin, the sequel to The City We Became, which I have been on the lookout for since I have that nice hardcover and I wanted the matching one, so I managed to pick up that. Then I also got Legends and Lattes, which I really debated buying because, to be honest with you, last month I sort of discovered, not really last month, but it's been kind of building over the last couple of months, that kind of whimsical, cozy, low plot, no stakes, just vibes sort of fantasy stories are not really my jam. I have discovered that I'm kind of pretentious in the way that I want my fantasy to have like an actual plot and actual stakes and things, and like when it's just whimsical. And you know, there was even a book by a big name author that I won't mention, but there was a character who was like only there to be silly, goofy, and like completely outrageous. And I hated it. I honestly hated it. And I'm like, this makes me so pretentious and boring that I can't get along with these kinds of stories. And I do want to like them. I guess I just can't. But it was $8 and I haven't read it. So I don't know if, I assume it would fall into that category of books that I wouldn't like, but you never know. I might like it. Maybe like on one of those days where it's like a rainy Saturday and I can just lay in bed and just enjoy it and just, you know, enjoy it for the vibes and not have to worry too much about plot. Maybe just knowing going in that there's no plot, you know, will lower my expectations of what to expect. I don't know. But like I said, it was $8, so I just picked it up. And then I got a book called A Dance of Cloaks by David Dalglish, and I know nothing about it. Not a single thing. I just thought the cover looked cool. It was one of those just spur of the moment kind of things. Like, I like the cover. The back, the copy on the back, I mean, it just sounds like kind of standard, you know, fantasy, which, you know, is not necessarily a bad thing, especially since I can't read cozy stuff. And then my 4th book was my book of the month, which was Dragonfruit by Makiia, Lucier, and that looks really cool. I am really excited to pick that up over the summer, you know, like it's a little bit warmer. I'm in the mood for, you know, what I assume is like a sea-related story. We're painting my nails today, Malaga wine. So that was my reading and my book-related stuff. Ended up with 4 books. Could have been worse. Could have been a hell of a lot better. Writing wise, it was supposed to be a 30,000 word month because it was Camp NaNoWriMo, and I was starting back on this project that I had been thinking about obsessively ever since I shelved it in November. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me that way. I really struggled yet again to stay on topic. I learned about midway through the month that 3 pages a day was just out of my capability with everything else that I have going. But 2 pages was perfectly in range of what I was capable of. I could write a page on my break at work, or like in the creases, you know, here and there, and then write a page when I got home, and that was perfectly doable. Unfortunately, that would equal out to like 20,000 words in a month, and I was like, oh, even okay with that. But again, my torture poets department, hyper-fixation, really put a damper on that, and I just didn't. I ended up with 7,791 words, and it's looking like I am yet again going to have to shelve this project because I have yet again failed to take the steps I know are necessary for me to be successful in writing, and that is the planning and outline stage. I am a planner, and yet for some reason over the last couple of years, I have somehow convinced myself that I don't actually need to do it, but I do. I do need to plan. And I have some plans in the works regarding that going forward, but it was a learning experience, both in terms of like, again, what I'm capable of writing in a day when I have a day job and kids and extracurriculars and books to read and content to film and, you know, a partner and, you know, other hobbies. But also that I just can't, I physically cannot wing it. I have so much respect for pantsers. I literally can't. I started off strong with the first week. I was only off my pace by like a day, and then by the second week I fell behind by like 3 or 4 days, and then the third week I just completely I wrote maybe a page and then I stopped. I got some writer's block because I wanted to make sure I got this one scene right, and then I just never got back to it. I still think there's a lot of good in what I did, but certainly not the output I was hoping for. And that is everything for reading and writing in the month of April. I have some favorites to tell you about, not quite as many as in past months, because again, I didn't really accomplish much this month. But my favorite book that I read out of the grand total of 4 was Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey. That's the second book in the Expanse series. And it was just such an improvement on the first book. In the first book, I really liked the setting. I mostly enjoyed the plot once it started picking up, and you know, I just liked the hard science and all of that. Where it lost me was the characters. I really did not like either of the POV characters. I thought they were both mediocre white dudes. The second book was a major improvement because yes, we have one of those POV characters from the first book, but we also got a couple of female POVs, one of whom was a particular favorite, and another male character who was kind of boring, but at least not aggravating. So yeah, definitely out of the 4 books, that was definitely my favorite. My favorite line, because I did actually write, even though it wasn't as much as I hoped, I did actually write, was, "Is it not for sentimentality that you deny us the means of saving ourselves? Is your promise to a dead woman not sentimentality? Have you not condemned us all to death by sentimentality?" And my favorite song was a Torture Poets song, of course. But truth be told, it changes every day. When I wrote this list down, it was down bad because it's just a jam. And like, whom amongst us has not been in the parking lot of the gym boo-hooing over a dude who doesn't deserve your tears? I mean, I don't go to the gym that much anymore, or at all, but I feel like that's a universal experience. Like, even if it's not the gym, like in the parking lot of the Taco Bell, or like at Walmart, or at your job, and you don't want to go in because you're still puffy-eyed from crying. You know, I just feel like that's a universal experience, just crying at, you know, wherever, over a dude who really doesn't deserve the oxygen. But I also just really like the albatross for the literary themes, of course. I can do it with a broken heart, because again, whomst among us has not powered through and just gotten your shit done, even though it felt like it was impossible because of what you were going through at the time. Totally relatable again. The Tortured Poets Department was my favorite song. I just realized that's an actual song. That wasn't my favorite song, but the whole album was my favorite song is what I'm trying to say. And that's it for my favorites. I don't have a favorite anime because I didn't watch any. I don't have a favorite TV show because I really didn't watch any. I hate to break it to you guys, but like sports are on right now. Like baseball started this month, and I love baseball. I love sports of all kind, and like it's the hockey playoffs and the basketball playoffs. So I'm not watching anything except sports. So I mean, I could tell you about my favorite game. My brother and I took his son, my nephew, and my daughter to a basketball game for their birthdays. And it was really fun. We had a really good time. It was the first time I've ever been to a professional basketball game, and our seats were atrocious. We were literally in the very back row. Our backs were literally against a wall instead of another row of seats. And like we were under like, there was like ceiling above us. So like the stuff that like was dropping into the stands and like the t-shirt cannons couldn't even reach us. So it was like, but we had a really good time. The game was really good. It went to overtime. So that was my favorite sports event that happened in April. And that's pretty much it for April. I'm ready to put it behind me. I was really excited. I thought I was going to get all this shit done, and then I just didn't. And it has given me to really think about how I want to do. It's made me think really about my content output and what I am capable of and what I should be focusing on. Because at the end of the day, content creation is a hobby, and I want writing to be a job eventually. But if I'm spending all of my time and energy on a hobby and not the thing I want to be a job, and not treating it like a job, then of course the thing that I want to be a job is just going to stay a hobby, and an under-prioritized one at that. So I gave it some thought, and I'm not going to be doing content the same way this month. I'm just going to be trying out something new, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go back to the way it was. I have no problems with that. But I am always looking for ways to be more efficient, and I think the best way to make myself more efficient, both in terms of content creation and like my reading and writing goals, is to do a schedule, a set schedule, rather than what I had been doing, which was every 3 days. Which kind of means that there's no set filming day, there's no set editing day. It's just every 3 days I film a video one day, I edit it the next day, and then I post it the third day. And so there are some days where I am filming on Saturdays and editing on Sundays, and some days where I am filming on Tuesday, and it's working it around like my kids' extracurriculars and then like spending time with my family. It just wasn't working, or I'm starting to realize that that isn't ideal. And so if I set a schedule where I'm posting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I can schedule it as such where I have set days off where I can spend time with my family on the weekends, and I can choose the days where I'm like editing and things. That way I'm not like running into conflicts where I'm coming home from swimming lessons at 8 o'clock and having to sit down and edit for 3 hours. So ultimately, I think this will be the way I'm going to do it. I think it'll help me with my reading and writing goals as well. So my plan is, from now on, I want to do a weekly reading vlog every single week, where I don't have a specific goal. I'm just going to vlog what I'm reading that week. And I also want to do a weekly writing vlog on Fridays. So Mondays are weekly reading vlog, and then Fridays weekly writing vlog. And specifically for my writing vlogs, what I want to do is basically show you guys the process from absolute start, like ground zero of an idea, to finish when I write the end at the end of a manuscript. And for me, because I'm not a pantser, because I am a staunch planner, it's going to be like really, really thinking through the world building stages and the outline and, everything that goes into the preparation before you start drafting, or at least before I start drafting. And the reason I want to do that is, again, because I just get so excited about starting a new idea that I don't take the steps that are actually necessary for me to be successful in writing a draft. So I figure A, public accountability really motivates me, and B, if I just like work through the process out loud, maybe it'll like motivate me more to take it more seriously and think it through it more diligently, rather than just skipping steps that are ultimately necessary but less exciting to get to the drafting part, which truthfully, I mean, and I mean this sincerely, drafting is probably my least favorite part of the writing process because I actually do love planning. I love the outlining phase and I love editing and revision. And drafting feels like pulling teeth out of my mouth without any medicine. And I know that's probably bad of me to say as an aspiring writer, but I am what I am. I am a revision forward, planning heavy person at heart. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, this nail job is going to look like hot garbage, but it's fine. I don't actually care. It's just giving me something to do while I talk to you about all this shit. So that's Mondays and Fridays. And when I was thinking about it, my main source of discontentment with the idea was that that will get kind of boring. I feel like I do want to do some of the other videos that I do, the cozy resets and the reading wrap-ups and the TBR videos. I don't want it to all just be weekly vlogs. So I feel like on Wednesdays Wednesdays will be my day to just have fun, like do fun videos, do cozy resets, and you know, my tier rankings and behind the bandwagon reviews and anything like that. And then I may sprinkle videos throughout. The door is open to do videos like on the weekend if I want to, or, you know, whatever. The reason that it will work out for me more time-wise is I can sit down and I can film a vlog clip in 10 minutes every single night and then edit it all together. I don't know, it just feels more manageable that way. And we'll see, maybe it's not, truly. I have no idea if this is going to work. This is going to be just kind of like a beta test. And if I like it, then we'll continue. And if not, I'll go back to the way it was, or I'll think of something new. I am not above admitting that I made a terrible mistake or reinventing my process to find what works. All I know is that I am liking the content creation stuff. It truly is a fun hobby for me, but I would like to get some sort of routine in place. It may not work. It may work out peachy, but I invite you to come along on this journey of finding out with me. So that's pretty much my content plans for May. So this video is going to come out on Wednesday. So Friday, you'll get your first writing vlog, and then the following Monday will be my first reading vlog, and we'll just see how it goes. And I hope that you come along for the ride. And to that point, my goals are pretty simple: vlog every single day, reading and writing, and spend more time on the weekends relaxing and decompressing and recharging my batteries. And I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm that kind of personality, type A personality that needs to be busy all the time, but I need to carve out space for myself to be okay with not working. I think part of the reason I hyper-fixate is because I don't allow myself the time on a regular basis to just enjoy things. I'm always like thinking about being time efficient and productive and all that stuff. So yeah, those are really my only two goals, is to just start a daily vlogging habit, both for reading and writing. And again, it's taking 10 minutes out of my day to kind of play catch up on what I've been doing, and that's it. And we'll just play it by ear. And then at the end of the month, my vacation got bumped back a week, so now it's the first full week of June. And so around that time will be my June cozy reset, and I can kind of reevaluate and look back on the month and see how it worked and if I want to continue it going forward. So that's pretty much it. I have these gorgeous kind of wine colored nails. I still need to put some top coat on, and it does look a little hideous in this light. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I had a good time. That is everything for today. As I mentioned, my next video will be my first writing vlog. And in that vlog, just as a reminder, I am documenting my writing process from absolute ground zero to the very first birth of the idea, developing and cultivating and nourishing that idea and asking all the right questions and developing the world and the magic system and the characters and all of that into the planning stages and the outlining, and then finally into the draft. And if I manage to complete a draft, which I hope to God I do, then it'll continue into the revision stages and on and on and on until I can say that the whole manuscript is complete and ready to be sent onward. We'll see if I actually have the stamina for that, but that's the idea. And the very first vlog, weekly vlog of that journey will be available for you on Friday. Please look forward to it, and I will see you then.